Germany. Plus, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mi primera idioma es español. I want you to think about this for a sec. How many of you have heard, go to school, do well, get into college, find a girl, and then maybe you'll get married, have a kid or two, buy a house, and live happily ever after you get a dog or something like that? I'm pretty sure all of us have heard that, right? Yeah, because if you grew up in an urban or a suburban community, this is the talk of the town. This is what your parents wanted you to do. And me, growing up with boomer parents, this was a normal lifestyle. And not knowing the world has shifted tremendously, we just followed this blindly. And so a lot of the acquaintances of mine have taken this to heart and literally have gone from relationship to relationship. Every 6 months after they break up with their girl, they're into another one, only to be with them for a year or 3 and just to put them back away. Now, I fell victim to this myself. And at a point in time, I even went to college. But I learned a lot about the world, and I learned a lot about myself. See, I was under the impression that the world was all peaches and creams, and that everything that I was taught in life up until this point would just come to pass. It would just happen naturally, right? But this was not the case. See, when I got there, my own people that looked like me, that acted like me, and that sounded like me were the main ones who were plotting on my downfall, stealing from me, and even more pathetically, my own family praying and celebrating my downfall. Eventually, you come to a point of an identity crisis. What do you do from here? Because your religion and your upbringing teaches you to turn the other cheek. Love those that hate you. You guys know this one. Save them because they know not what they do. At what point is this enough though? At what point do we say, okay, I had to find a different way? Because our guardians, the world that they left us, is gone. It's not anymore. There is social media. There is the internet. There's Google. There's Bing. There's all these different places that we can go ready for information. They didn't have that in those days. So here today, we're going to talk about the unlimited options that we do have instead of following a script or a manuscript that someone else gave me. Okay guys, real quick, these are the 5 options that people have left you with. College, job, wife, house, kids. Okay? In that order. That was what society wants us to believe is gonna be the right move. Now here are 5 things that you could do instead of that to build yourself, so that way you can choose what kind of life that you want. And maybe you're just like me. Maybe you do want all those things, but you're taking a different route, right? So here's 5 things that I'm doing or I'm going to be doing that you can do as well. Number 5 is going to be Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a group of individuals who practice different speeches and speaking in public. For example, right? You might have a competition using only bullet points or quick little outlines that you do, and you would have to present the information in front of a group of people with, maybe 30 seconds or a minute to prepare. It's very, very good because it helps you just stay grounded and stay focused on one topic before moving on to the next one. Okay, so that's going to be number 5. Number 4 is going to be trades. Electrician, HVAC, concrete, construction, anything like that can net you not only a stable income, but skills that you could take all around the world. And we're going to get to that in just a second. Okay, so that's going to be number 4. Number 3 is going to be contract work or online businesses. Cool thing about contract work is that you can take Fiverr, different sites across the world where people are looking to outsource work to you because that is your specialty. That's what you've been doing for the last, 1 to 3 years, 5 to 7 years, 7 to 10 years, and you're now looking to go independent or 1099. This gives you the freedom to do so. I've done it before. I'm currently a contractor right now. I work security contract in Los Angeles when I was putting solar panels on roofs. And so I'm very well familiar with this process. Now you can range anywhere from, $2,000 a month all the way up to $10,000 a month, depending on what job field that you're going into and depending on your expertise. Okay, so that's the cool thing about that. There is no cap on your income. All right. Number 2 is going to be my personal favorite, is sales. Man, I love sales, but it's very, very difficult. If you guys know of Patrick Bet-David or anything that he does, he has content called Valuetainment and made for people who are entrepreneurs looking to get into sales, looking to break into sales game, and he gives great advice for people who are looking to go down this path. Now, the reason why it was difficult for me is because when I got into sales, I had 2 or 3 jobs at the time, plus I was going to school. I didn't have much help from family or friends or anything like that. So I largely had to do it on my own, paying rent, paying my car note, paying the insurance and the whole 9 yards, groceries and travel costs and insurance. It was a mess. So I really didn't have enough time to dedicate to sales. And plus I didn't have that 6-month window that you need in order to make sure you are successful. And that's what I recommend to everybody. If you have 3 to 6 months of savings, I would highly suggest that before getting into sales. But if you don't, you can still get into sales and you can still do extremely well. I promoted very fast. The first time I was in sales, I went negative $1,000 to $1,500 in my account, and I had to go back, restart, and then come back to it. And when I did come back to it, I was promoted to the regional manager of sales within 4 months because I was selling so ferociously. And it is something that I really enjoyed. And it was that time because I understood the world better, I understood people better, and I was able to empathize with people who were going through a bad situation, who wanted to change their situation. So it is one of my favorite things to do. I love training people in sales. Man, I got a passion for it, man, but again, you have to have that backdrop in order to make sure that you're successful. And number 1, something that I'm going to do at the end of 2025, it is my goal, travel. Travel opens up so many different options. Let me tell you, my dad was military for 20 plus years. He retired as a master sergeant in the Air Force. So I have a very different style than most people who are going to be on YouTube and most people you're going to be talking to. I'm very direct and I'm very open-minded to what I want to accomplish, and I'm not afraid to ask for help, and I'm not afraid to have people call me out for the things that I do. Most people cannot relate. If someone says something wrong to them, they're going to get in their feelings and blah blah. Man, I was around JSOC guys, I was around paratroopers, I was around special forces guys, and then when I was in college I was in ROTC as well, and so I was around special forces guys that were hard, guys who were rangers, guys who were Green Berets, my heroes, Mike Glover, Jocko Willink, Andy Stumpf. These are guys I looked up to. James Bond as he was playing James Bond, Sean Connery, and even the new James Bond that recently retired. Those are guys that I wanted to be like, and I mimicked them. Bruce Wayne is another one. I mimicked how he walked, how he moved, how he operated. Funny enough, those are the same type of characteristics and traits that the U.S. military, the guys that were at a very high level, those are the same characteristics that they had. And so I knew I was on the right path to becoming a man, right? But I've been to, when I was a kid, I think it was Germany and England, or it was just Germany, I believe. I can't remember. Germany. Plus, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mi primera idioma es español. My first language was Spanish. Okay, guys? And so what would happen is my dad would be at work. I had some people would babysit us and they would only speak to us in Spanish and teach us Spanish. And at the time I was 1 to 2 years old or whatever, I really don't remember much about it. I only remember stories, right? But the only time we would speak English was when my dad and my mom's was home, right? But for the most part, we were infatuated by different languages, by different cultures, and that's how we grew up. Fast forward to Germany. We went to Germany. Es sprechen Sie Deutsch. Eins, zwei, drei, so on and so forth. Guys, when you go to these different cultures, when you go and start traveling, even though I was a kid and I don't really count that as traveling, you start to change your perspective, your family dynamics. At the time, my family dynamics had changed tremendously. And so what I took from that was very, very important. And even today, I still cannot find here in America a culture that I can identify with, simply for the fact that how America was built, it was not built on class, it was built on race. And they invented race because they wanted a separation between the people at top and the people at the bottom. And so that's how they did it. If you know your history, you know your history, right? And so that being said, I've never really kind of identified, I've never really fit in with anyone. I was always too black for the white people, and I was always too white for the black people. And even though yo hablo español un poquito, I was not Spanish. But the people that showed me the most love was the Spanish people, you know. And I say Spanish generally because I don't want to identify Mexicans with Colombians, Colombians with Venezuelans, Venezuelans with Cubanos, the Cubanos with Dominicanos, Argentinians with so on and so forth. You guys understand. But the point of the matter is, guys, when I'm standing here and I'm telling you this stuff, I'm not capping. This is what I really do. This is really my life. I speak Spanish every single day to people that can't understand it. Right? I identify with people's cultures every single day, the people I've never even been a part of. Russian culture, Ukrainian culture, which is pretty much one and the same. You know, people from Thailand, people from the Philippines. I speak with them every single day, and they're encouraging me. Hey, travel, have you been here before? Have you been there before? Man, and they're so encouraging, man. And it's one of those things where, like, everything that we've been taught how to move in America is all wrong. Everything is a lie. Everything is a lie. And if I could go back and establish something when I was younger, 18, 19, 20, instead of going to college, I would definitely do so 100%. Hey, listen, guys, I know you guys got a lot of things to do. I got a lot of things to do myself. After I edit this video, it's going to be up. But please, if you got value from this video, drop a like, comment something, and subscribe, because we're going to be dropping these videos weekly for you. Okay? Until next time, peace.